talent. Isaac on the drums, Jaden on the sax, Matt on the piano, and Dre on the bass. All right, so tonight you guys are in for something special. It's somebody that you guys know very, very close. Somebody that I watched grow up since they were this small and honestly, truly transform into such, first off, a grown woman, but second off, such a woman of God. And Veronica is she's amazing, and God has given her not only the gift of spoken word, but the gift of word. God has instilled in her something that a lot of us strive for, and Veronica could just bring the house down. And I'm not going to stay up here and wait because I'm excited. So give it up for Veronica as she comes to the stage. Come on, make some noise if you are excited. I am excited, and I am ready. I am ready.
Thank you so much. Thank you. First off, I'd like to say thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here. I love you all. I swear this is probably the best part of my week is being with you because you guys are absolutely amazing. And I'd also like to thank Pastor Austin and Pastor Jacob for letting me be here. It's a privilege. They're very specific about who they let on the stage. They do not believe in letting just anyone because they care about you and they want people to put an encouraging and a holy word in you. And so they're very specific. So I'm privileged and honored to be able to do that. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. So how are you guys doing tonight? Good. Okay, not too bad. So how many of you are getting close to spring break? Hey, how many of you are on it? Ooh, you know, those are the well-rested ones. the well-rested ones. Well, I just had mine last week. I had the privilege of ending my spring break with a very nice fine arts competition. If you went to fine arts, can you make some noise for me? Oh yeah. Okay, let me just brag on them real fast. Yeah, that was good. I love my students. Let me brag real fast. They killed it. I mean, they killed it. When we went around, people knew who we were. We were repping you well. They said, oh, that's NYKC. Our worship team did so well. This one dude walked up to us. He was like, yo, can you come to our church? Can you play for us? Can we have you at an event? Because they killed it. Our ensembles killed it. Our artists killed it. Everyone killed it. I cried during some of the presentations. That's how great they did. Man, I was like, it's okay. But I bring this up, one, because they're awesome and I love them and I'm so proud. But also because this message is going to take on a bit of an artsy flair. So if you like art, raise your hand. Yeah. If art was your favorite class in elementary school, raise your hand. Yeah, art's good. I'm terrible at it, but I like art. So the title of this message, for those of you who take notes or care, is Masterpiece in the Making. And for those of you who don't know, this is Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. That is one of the most beautiful pieces of art, in my opinion. But somebody said they didn't like it. I'm hurt. All right, whatever. We're entitled to our opinions. So tonight I'm going to be talking to you about Masterpiece in the Making. But before I do, I want to talk just about art for a moment. How many of you enjoy painting specifically? You love painting. Yeah, my mom back there, 2 hands, she loves painting. I cannot stand painting. People will be like, hey, you want to paint? No, absolutely not. And me and Malik had this conversation this past weekend. We said, you know when your mind, you're like, I'm going to draw or paint something and it's going to be a masterpiece. You got like this beautiful artistic picture in your mind, and then when your hand actually touches the paint, it looks like trash. I look at myself and I'm like, ugh. And this is where my mom's like, oh, you just gotta keep painting. You just gotta keep going. I'm like, no, it's ruined. It's trash. Do you see that? There's a big blotch on it. That's not what it's supposed to look like. Looks terrible. I can't stand painting. However, I do enjoy looking at paintings. A little while, right. Paintings are nice. I mean, now don't get me wrong. There's some like really old-looking, ugly ones, and you're like, man, they're looking dusty. Yeah, like the Mona Lisa. I don't know why that's a great painting because she looks dead. Like she looks like she's just like, And then she's not smiling. She's not smiling. I don't get that. I don't. But whatever. I have a favorite painting, actually. It's at the Nelson Atkins Museum. So we can show that slide real fast. Ready? Go look at my painting. That's nice, right? Okay. So now some of you may be like, Veronica, why is that your favorite painting? Out of all the paint, I know my mom was even like, why is that your favorite painting? Well, I'll let you know that I stared at this painting, no lie. I had this weird artsy moment. So weird. I stared at the painting, no lie, for like 11 minutes straight. I walked through the museum, I was minding my own business, I said, whoa, that's a nice painting. And so I went over there, and to be fair, it's a little brighter. It's a little brighter in the real life, it's a little brighter. But so I was staring for like 7 minutes, and you'll notice, this is a cool painting. The colors are really bright, they're like pink, and the reflection is super dope. You can't really see it as well on here as I would hope. It was only like 8.5 minutes in that I saw something though. I was looking at the water, it was really nice. I'm pretending I actually know about art here. You see the reflection and the way they did that. And then you see this little white dot, right? And I was like, what the heck is that? Why is there a white dot? And then I looked up and I was like, oh my gosh, there's a person on the bridge. And I was like, what? I was so thrown. I had a moment, really. I was just sitting there like, this is the coolest thing ever. They have a reflection. You don't see the person? Oh. Okay, you see this white dot right here. That's the person's hat. She's got like a bonnet on. This is like old. That's the person. And it's reflected on the water. We got it? Do I need to show it over here too? Y'all are needy. Okay. Person. Reflected. That's pretty nice, right? Yeah. Yeah! I had an oh moment. We're supposed to be quiet in museums. I wasn't quiet, but I was like, oh, that's good. That's good. I don't know anything about art, but that's pretty. So I enjoy looking at paintings. I love paintings. However, I am the worst at painting. I'm so bad. It's so funny. Not recently, about a year ago, I had this moment. Malik knows about this. I said, I've got a masterpiece in my mind. I had found a leaf on the ground, and it was a maple leaf, and I don't know why it mattered to me, but it was pretty. So I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, I got my favorite colors. My mom's got a whole bunch of canvases downstairs. Let me get artistic today. Terrible idea. Awful. So I pull out all the stuff, getting ready, put your hair in a bun. For those of you who have hair, especially for those of you who have long hair, put it up. Get your play shirt on so you don't get paint on it. Begin painting. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is terrible. This is not what I intended. And so I will show you the painting on this condition. Wait, on this condition. Y'all can't judge too hard. Okay, you get it. All right. I'll show you the painting. And we're gonna show the painting, it's fine. There it is. Thanks, it's art, yeah, okay. But, so first off, it's not finished, right? So, it's supposed to have like a thing here, a stem, right? And it actually looks real good when it's on this big screen. I don't know why. But it was kind of splotchy, and it was like, there was really dark in the center. It was just like questionable. It was okay though. But in my mind, this piece of art was terrible. I promise you. I did not touch that mug for like 7 months. And it would just be in my basement, and I would walk by it, and the leaf I had used was all like crusty. And I don't know why. I was like, it's not like this leaf will ever be usable again, but it's still here. And I have the painting, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate it. I need to throw it away. I almost threw it away. I'm pretty sure my mom had to make me not throw it away. And I was like, I'm gonna throw it away. And every time I walk past it, I would see her art, I'd see other people's art, and I'd be like, ugh, I can't art. I'm just not good at it. I'm a writer. Okay, so I have this rule. How many of you are writers? You say, I can write you a story, I can write a rap, I can write something. Yeah, the writers. How many of you are actually artists, like can draw stuff? Ugh. I envy you. So I have this rule that people cannot draw and write. I have this rule. And if you can, then you are some kind of special, because that is not a thing. It's either one or the other. But I'm a writer. I like to write. When I get my feelings, I'm gonna be writing. gonna write, you know? I'm gonna write. I'm not gonna draw, because that'll make me more angry. So I tried though, doing some art. Was not happy. Put it away, didn't look at it for months. And I really couldn't stand it. I was like, you know what? I don't like painting. I've messed up. This is not the masterpiece I intended it to be. I'm done with it. And yet I realized how many times do we do that with ourselves? And here's what I mean. How many of you can be a little bit self-critical? Like a little bit like, Okay, and here's how to prove it. How many of you are awkward? You're like, I'm awkward. I'm awkward, I understand. And then you get past that awkward moment and you're thinking about it for like days afterwards. You're like, oh, there were so many things I could have done better. I'm really quite critical. But not just about me being awkward. I tend to sit down, and maybe it's because I'm a thinker. I do a lot more thinking. I talk a lot, but I do think a lot, I swear. And I will think, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person. Like, I'm just terrible. Like, I'll think I'm not even, okay. Savage. All right. But no, for real, on a very serious level, can I be serious with you? Okay. I would be like sitting somewhere minding my own business. I'm like, you know what? I'm really like not as nice as I should be. Or I'm not very gracious. Or I'm not very loving. Or I should be way more kind. Like, I'm just an awful person. And I start imagining like this super villain because in my mind, I'm terrible. I'm like, oh my gosh. And I think about my calling. Because how many of you know we're in the series? What's it called? The series for this whole year. Destiny. And for this series, it's Waymaker. But for the year, it is Destiny, right? And so how many of you know you have a destiny? Like, God's got a destiny for you. For I know the plans I have for you. So I know that God has a destiny for all of you and for me. And I also know he has a calling. But even deeper than that, I know that he has a design for who I'm going to be. He has this masterpiece, if you will, of who he's creating me to be. This gracious, kind, loving, fruit of the Spirit-filled woman that he's called me to be. And I'm not I can guarantee, we all know, clearly this section knows, because they're mean. But I'm not perfect. I'm really not perfect. Oh yeah, you know, surprise. Let you know. And I see who I could be and who God's calling me to be. And sometimes I get really frustrated because I see this masterpiece and I'm like, I know God's calling me to be this amazing woman of God. But sometimes I'm like, man, you are doing a terrible job. Like, you are just not cutting it. You're doing awful. And I kind of do what I do to my paintings. And I just kind of like, meh. If I can't be who God's called me to be at the best, should I even try? Or should I maybe just think of myself less and think less of myself because I'm not really being who I need to be? Or I'm not really being as great as I would hope to be, even though I am trying. And I think we get that way a lot, but I have good news. That God is so not like us at all. And the following verse will show you exactly what I mean by this. In Philippians, we have chapter 1, verse 6. It says, "And I am certain that God, who began the good work within you, will continue this work until it is finally finished on the day when Jesus Christ returns." So this is a really simple verse. I have one verse for you. So for those of you who are taking notes, you can just write one verse reference. Isn't that amazing? I'm helping you out. And the reason I chose this verse is because, one, we know God began a good work in us, right? If we're saved, you know, or even if he's in the process of calling us, God's beginning that good work in us. And we're like, yeah, you know, God's working on me. Yeah, we're good. But we're not perfect, right? It says he will continue this work until it is finally finished. And I think that's where we fall short as humans a lot. We like to give up. I mean, you can go look at all the prophets in the Old Testament, man. They'd be like, all right, woe is me. I gotta go. Like, this is terrible. But God doesn't do that. Instead, he's like, you know what? I see something amazing inside of this person. And I'm going to keep working on them. And I'm going to keep loving them. And keep cherishing them because they are a masterpiece to me in the making. They may not be perfect, but I love them as they are. And that's huge to me. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it matters to you, but to me, I was like, God doesn't give up on me. So why am I so quick to give up on me? Am I greater than God that I should just say that this is no longer worth working on? Because it's kind of arrogant. But But God isn't saying that about us. He's saying, no, we're still working on you. We're going to keep working on you. And so I have one, you know how we have like fancy sayings? I've crafted one for you guys. Yeah, this is where you write, okay? So we have pens. We took time to put pens and papers on your chair, so if you could just pretend like you care for like 2 seconds and write this down, that would be amazing. You ready? Y'all ready? It's gonna be good, okay. Ready? Okay. Don't allow your perfectionism to get in the way of the process. God is still painting. I know it's not perfect, it's not poetic too much, but we got a little alliteration in there, right? So don't allow your perfectionism to get in the way of the process. God is still painting. And that's the message I want you to have. And I know you're going to be writing, like, oh my gosh, stop talking. I'm trying to finish this saying. Yeah, I know, I'm in school. I get it. I'll give you a couple seconds. Don't allow your perfectionism to get in the way of the process. God is still painting. And this actually changed a lot about my life. I'm actually more relaxed now. Because I used to be so uptight. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a terrible person. And then I get all dark and brooding like Batman or something. And I'm like, ugh. But now I know, you know what? God's still working on me. And I should be just as loving toward myself as God is to me. Because he says I'm worth it. I'm a masterpiece in the making. And so there's one thing I want you to know. Is that you are a masterpiece in the making. God is way making here. He's making a way for you to become the masterpiece. And a lot of times we get so caught up in the future, which is awesome. And I'm not saying don't look at your destiny. Don't look at what God's called you to. Please do. You got to look forward. But don't get so caught up in the future and what you could be that you forget to live in the present and be thankful for who you are right now. Because I know a lot of you, and I may not know you like 100%, but I know that I love all y'all, and y'all are amazing to me. So, I mean, even if I, from a distance, love you, how much more does God, your heavenly Father, love you? I mean, he thinks you're spot on. So I want you to know that. Because I know that as Christians, especially those who are really pursuing God and really trying to do their best and really wanting to honor God, and they have that a man after God's own heart type mentality that David had. We want to be like, yes, I want to do the best, but then we become so hard on ourselves because we're not perfect. But that's not what God's calling us to be. He didn't call us to be perfect. He called us to be his children. That's it. He didn't say, I called you to be my perfect children. Just be his children. And rest in his love, rest in his peace and his hope, because you are a masterpiece in the making. And I don't want you to give up on painting. And then, so God called me yesterday. He's like, all right, Veronica, so you're preaching. I'm having you preach the sermon about continuing to paint. So why is that painting still sitting in the basement? I was like, God, I don't even paint. Stop it. But he's like, really though? You're gonna say, keep painting. It's literally in your saying, but you're not gonna finish painting? I was like, all right. Because in my mind, God is sassy. I mean, because if he created me, and I'm created in God's image, he must be sassy, because I'm sassy. So, I did finish painting. Here's the catch. It's not fully finished. It's a masterpiece in the making. I need to add some depth to it, So it's not really finished. Yeah, a little artistic terms right there. Yeah. But I kept painting, and I'm going to keep painting. I'm actually going to try to keep painting. We'll see what that looks like. You might see some crazy stuff on Instagram. We'll see. But I did keep painting, so I'll let you see it. And that's what it looks like. Thank you. This is my first art show, guys. You like that? Yeah. Isn't it cool? I hope you guys can see that it shines. I made it with like some metallic stuff, right? Yeah. Right? Oh, you guys are so nice. I actually feel confident in painting now. But God is kind of just showing me throughout all of this that we have to keep painting. And really, we have to let him keep painting. Because we like to think, oh, and can I get everyone quiet for a moment? We're getting close to the end. You can hang in there with me. We like to think, oh, I have to work on myself. I have to fix myself. I have to make myself better. But in reality, that's God's job. The only thing he's wanting us to do is to allow him to keep working on us. That's why I say don't stop God in the process, because he's the one who's really doing the work. You just have to allow him to keep working and not beat yourself up in the process. You got to just let him work on you, because he will in good time. You just have to be patient. And so I have a special segment for you guys. If I can get the adult leaders up front, I do have a small gift for you. It's very small, but I think it's kind of cool. When I was a student, I think it was under Pastor Dennis, might have been Pastor Kevin, I can't remember. In youth, there was a sermon that was called something along the lines of Masterpiece. And they handed out paintbrushes just to remind us that God created us to be masterpieces and that we were made in his image. And that stood out to me because I've had the paintbrush for a long time. I don't know if I still have it now, but it's so sealed into my mind because of that concrete image that I had, that I remember, I am God's masterpiece. And so I was like, that's really cool, but I don't want to copy. I don't want to use paintbrushes because then I'm being a copycat, right? So I have something even better and messier. But if I give this to you, you have to promise, please don't open these in here. This is my first time preaching on a Wednesday, and if you get paint everywhere, Pastor Austin's going to be like, never again. So, I have paint for you. Yeah, I spoiled it, didn't I? So, I will have you all rise up from your seats, and no need to rush. But hold on, wait, before you go. Wait, everybody stand up on your feet. Regardless of whether or not you want the paint, you don't have to have it. But I do have paint in here for you, and it's just a small tube. But more than that, I want you to remember you are God's masterpieces in the making. And during this time, as Deonza begins to play soon, I want you to sort of be in a spirit of prayer and thankfulness and knowing that God is creating you to be this masterpiece. And also, if you want to pray with the leaders, we have them up here for you. So if you're like, yeah, you know what, I need prayer. This really reaches me. Please come up and pray. I would love to pray with you too. So, yeah, you can begin coming now, though. All right. Now, as you head back to your seats, before you begin talking, I'm going to pray us out real fast. So I'll have you return to your seats, and I'll begin to pray. Thank you, God, for letting us be here. And actually, I'll have everyone bow their heads and close their eyes. If there's anyone in here who you feel like maybe you have been filled with a little bit of either self-hate or frustration with yourself, or you've just been discouraged because you have high standards for yourself but you don't feel like you're meeting them, or you see who God's creating you to be but you're not exactly satisfied, you want more, I'll just ask that you'll raise your hand. This isn't to point you out to anybody or anything like that because everyone's heads should be bowed, but I just want to pray for you. I want to be able to pray for you and see you, and I want you to know that I see you and I see what you're going through and I relate on a serious level, because one thing about me is that I don't preach something I don't believe and that I haven't gone through. So this is very much my story. So, and I see those hands and thank you for that. And I just encourage you to pray in your own words as we close out. Dear God, thank you for letting us be here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be in your presence and in your house. This is a privilege that so many people don't have, but you have blessed us with it. And I pray that you will be with every single student in this room and remind them throughout their life that they are masterpieces in the making and that you are making something beautiful out of them, God. And I pray with you that you will be especially with those who raise their hands tonight, who are struggling to embrace themselves and who are desiring to be all that you've called them to be, but maybe are a little too hard on themselves. I think you know our hearts and you know our desires and you know that we want to be who you've called us to be, but sometimes we get a little too perfectionist-ish. So God, I pray that you will be with all of these students, fill them with peace and comfort and confidence, Help them to know that they are amazing, fearfully and wonderfully made masterpieces, and help them to walk boldly with confidence. In your mighty name we pray. Amen.
That's right. I just got two things because I don't know about you, but I was blessed by that message, and it was great. And one thing that I saw when she handed out the what is the paint called? Yeah, acrylic, that paint. Is that she pointed out that it gets really messy, and I think that a lot of times in life we all get messy, or we all do things that are really messy, or messy. It kind of goes with messed up, and a lot of times we all mess up. But one thing that Veronica pointed out was that God knows that you are his masterpiece. And so tonight, as you leave, I just want to end with something that Veronica said that I wrote down, and I promise you, I'm going to use this on myself so many times. Is the Veronica said, God hasn't given up on you, so why should you give up on you? And if God hasn't given up on you, there's absolutely no reason why you should give up on yourself. And so there's going to be times where I'm feeling messy, and I'm going to take one of those paints. I'm going to be feeling messy, and I'm going to look at it, and I'm going to think, man, God, you haven't given up on this mess, so why should I? So, Veronica, thank you for blessing myself. If you were blessed by this message, make some noise for Veronica. Come on, make a little bit more noise for Veronica. Make some noise for Veronica's painting. Come on. Before you leave, service is about to be officially dismissed, but before you leave, I would please ask that you come and look up close to the detail in this picture, because you can't really see where it went from there to where it is now, from where you're at. So please come check out this painting, because the closer I get, the more exquisite it gets. Oh, come on, somebody. I learned that yesterday. All right, so thank you. We love you. Service is officially dismissed. We are going to keep the curtains up for Sunday service. So service is officially dismissed. We will be here on Sunday morning at 9 a.m. continuing our revival series.